Hello there, Olga is here. Welcome. Today we will talk about on how to tap if you ever got stood up. I'll tell you a little story how this idea came to me. But the truth is, so many people in my community mention that, sometimes people make appointments with them and they don't show up. And whether it's personal or business, like you had a free consultation with a client and they didn't show up. Or maybe you had someone that you were going on a date with and they didn't come, or anything in that nature. So we'll address the feelings that show up in this moment, and we'll talk about what gorgeous lessons you can take out of this experience. Before we dive into the topic, I wanted to share a quick personal story, something that happened with me literally this past weekend. I actually shared it on Facebook and it went bizarre. So apparently it's very resonating with people in my community. So I think you'll enjoy learning some of the things that I kind of went through. So what happened is me and my kids, we went to see my ex-husband, their father, for a quick walk in a zoo. He asked me to come there. So it took me like an hour to get there because of the traffic and such. And then we get in there and he's 30 minutes late. And then he's saying that he's not coming. Something came up. So I was like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? You are 30 minutes late and tell me that you're not coming? So I kind of started tapping there a little bit because I felt triggered. I was like, I can't believe this guy. And then the girls were so excited to see, the dad and such. And as I was tapping, it kind of shifted really quickly. Like literally after 2 minutes of tapping, it was like, it's a great day to go to the zoo. So me and the girls went to the zoo and it was fantastic. The weather was perfect and we got to see all our favorite animals, and there was a gorgeous, all the trees and flowers. And if you haven't been to Houston Zoo, it's a beautiful place to go for a walk. Just like a huge park with the fountains and all of this good stuff. So we had a great time, but I was talking to a friend, and I kind of mentioned that, and she goes like, well, I can't believe he did that. And kind of, girls must be really upset. And I caught myself that I would used to think that, right? I would really get into this, I can't believe it kind of mentality, but now it's just not very familiar to my body. Now, I still get triggered occasionally, but I just really don't go to that level because it sucks. Let's face it. The victim mentality, the blaming mentality, that they did it to me mentality, it doesn't serve us. It drains our creative energy. It makes us sick. It damages our relationships with ourselves and with the loved ones. So if you ever got stood up, or if you are even kind of hesitating to make some appointments because you had some pain around it, tap with me today. It will help you. Before we dive into the tapping portion, I wanted to share kind of like a nice side effect and spin-off of that whole situation. So as I was tapping on and getting stood up, I discovered that there are times I'm hesitant to offer like free consultations or free introductory sessions just to kind of help people understand what the tapping is all about and what exactly is that I do to help people. And after tapping on this, I realized that I would love to do more of this because if they don't show up, it's not a biggie. Totally okay. People have so many stories behind them and we just make it personal. It really is not about us. So what happened that day, like next day, literally, I went online and I posted on one of the awesome Facebook groups that I'm offering free sessions, and like 20 people responded and 10 of them booked sessions. So in one day, I got 10 people booking sessions with me. Now those are free consultations, but it's a great way to connect with people, to actually share your gifts, give them a bite-sized sample of what is it that should they do, and make an offer. If they feel like they could use your help, they will move forward and pay you and work with you. And if not, you still have an opportunity to share your gift, to do something amazing, to connect with another human soul, and just to let people know what is it that you do, because maybe in future they might need help and then they'll come to you. So let's go ahead and start tapping, and I hope it will help you clear some of the residue, some of the, maybe abandonment or resentment patterns around this kind of situations. And so as you step forward, it'll be easier for you to make decisions and to maybe set consultations, or if you are getting ready to go to dates or anything like that. First thing I want you to do is to think about the time when you got stood up and see if there are any emotions coming up. See if you can assign a story to this event and feel good about it, essentially, right? So we'll tap on all of this. As you do, you can journal on the feelings that are popping up, or just kind of step in the moment. See what you saw, feel what you felt. any meanings that you put into this. I'm not good enough. I'll never be happy. I'll never have clients. Whatever it is, just notice that those are just thoughts. And sometimes thoughts that seems like they're true, they are the biggest fat liars. They have nothing to do with reality, but they feel true, right? So in the moments like this, I always tell myself, well, what meaning do I put into this situation? Because honestly, you don't have to put any meaning. It's just happened for whatever reason. And I choose to believe that anything happens for a good reason. So just go with the flow. And as you go to that place and you think about, that time it happens or an event that took place, just notice anything that's coming up. Pictures, sounds, sensations, and all of this. Stories, feelings in the body. If you can make it feel in the body, it's the best because your body is actually have all the answers. And as you do, just kind of tap with me. If you're new to tapping, tag along. It's super easy. And of course, if you know how to tapping, just enjoy the process. So we'll start by tapping between your eyes, and I'll just change points. So just look at the screens and follow along and just repeat after me. I release and let go of that story. All the things that I put into this. All the ways that I assigned to it. It's safe to let it go. Just let it go. Grab your wrist. Kind of like a pulse around. Breathe in. And breathe out. And say a word, peace. And let's do a quick setup statement because this is a good time to do a setup statement to kind of shift perspective. So we're going to tap on the side of your hand right there on the Karate point and just repeat after me. Even though I got stood up, I deeply and completely allow and accept myself. Even though that person didn't show up and I feel betrayed, I love and accept myself anyways. Even though they made an appointment with me and they promised to come and they didn't show, I choose to release any stories around it, any meaning into this. And I deeply and completely love and accept myself. All the sadness in the story, all the pain when people don't show up, all other times in my life I was betrayed, all the way I accumulate these feelings. Thanks God for tapping so I can clear out some of this emotional residue and stop making stories around the events. I choose not to assign it any meanings. It really is not about me. It was just misunderstanding. I release any resentment, abandonment, rejections, and anything else it brings up. Now, if the story is a mirror of something that I do, I'm receiving the lesson. Maybe I need to look at my patterns. Maybe I'm coming late or not super commitment with my appointments. I forgive myself too. It's safe to change it. I always attract people who are congruent to me on some level. And if somebody else comes into my presence, it just will not trigger me. Because I understand it's not about me. They have their own story. They have their own journey. They have their own things to tap on. So I release and let it go. It's safe to let it go. That person who didn't show up, that guy, the woman, the potential client, or anybody else, I forgive them. And I forgive myself for holding it against myself. All in the past, no longer real. I choose to rewrite this story and step up forward, feeling calm and confident. And so it is. And just kind of grab your wrist, pulse around, breathe in, breathe out, and say a word, peace. Gorgeous job tapping. Keep on tapping, my loves. It really, really does work. And get out there and make some gorgeous appointments on your personal level or on a business level. Go meet people. It is so much fun. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.